Gonna crash right here.
At this very moment, the man you see here, Benjamin Moulton, has walked into this sheriff's office claiming that he wants to say something, and the words that come out of his mouth will shake this officer to his core.
There was a cold case in 2011. I killed her. It's something that I'm responsible for.
The murder he has just confessed to is that of Nicole Rose Scott, a woman who was found dead on the side of a country road 10 years ago. For that decade, detectives were met with dead end after dead end, until now.
Picked her up. She died. Even though I'm sorry, I know that Jehovah forgives.
But as detectives interview those closest to him, they will begin to suspect that Jehovah isn't the reason this man is confessing, and that he is hiding a sickening past.
I don't think he's confessing because he has empathy for the person he hurt.
I'm very ashamed to even talk about it.
I think he's a psychopath. I don't think he has real remorse. He's hurt other people.
On the afternoon of Wednesday, September 29th, 2021, a man wearing a red t-shirt and carrying a drink walked into the Manatee County Sheriff's Office and told the front desk he needed to speak with a detective.
There was a cold case in 2011.
Okay.
Nicole Rose Scott.
Okay.
And it's something that I'm responsible for. And
You said Nicole Rose Scott. Okay. Please continue. Yeah.
she died.
Right.
And I'm responsible for.
Okay. How are you responsible?
I killed her.
You did? Okay, how did you do that?
The man identified himself as 43-year-old Benjamin Wade Moulton, and he has just confessed to killing a woman named Nicole Rose Scott a whole decade ago. Nicole Rose Scott was just 29 years old when her body was found on December 11, 2011. A motorcyclist had pulled off University Parkway in eastern Manatee County to relieve himself in the woods and stumbled onto her remains in a drainage ditch. Nicole grew up in and out of foster homes and was a mother of 3, often described as a bright young girl who loved and adored her 3 children. Due to unfortunate circumstances, Nicole turned to exotic work to make ends meet along North Tamiami Trail in Sarasota. Through canvassing her known clients, Benjamin's name, even in 2011, kept coming up as the last individual to use her services. Although he was questioned at the time, he denied everything, and investigators had no physical evidence to tie him to the scene, which was the primary reason the case went cold. And now, 10 years later, Benjamin has walked in to confess to it all himself. But why? What made this man have a change of heart? To find out, he was brought in for questioning to finally solve Nicole's murder.
How are you?
Okay. Detective Davis. Benjamin Moulton. Sergeant Lee. Benjamin Moulton.
Take you back to you picked her up that night. Do you remember where you picked her up?
It was 41. It was either 30. Which one's further? Is it 301 or 41 by the ocean?
It's 41.
41? Okay, so.
You gotta be talking about Manatee or Sarasota.
Yeah, headed towards past Fruitville, headed towards Bradenton. I don't know if I was in Bradenton or
Sarasota
not.
41. Yeah, okay. Sarasota 41. Okay. You picked her up there?
Yeah.
Where'd you guys go from there?
We went into a spot that's like it's like a dark parking lot, and I don't remember what it's called. I don't even know if I would recognize it. I don't know what it's called.
It's a parking lot, huh?
Yeah, it was like a parking lot for some building. It's like I don't.
And when you got to the parking lot, what happened there?
When we got there, I think we talked a little bit, and I just snapped.
So you, no intercourse there, no,
No, I didn't have with her at all.
you just snapped. Did Nicole fight back?
She I was strong. I was much stronger than her, and I was kind of in a rage, like angry, and
Do you think you killed her in that parking lot?
I think I did, yeah.
Why do you think you did?
Because I drove off and she was in my passenger seat, and she was slumped over, so I don't know if it was a tie or a belt or something, but I used it to make her sit up next to me. I don't even know why. I drove to I drove down 41 to the University Parkway, and I took a right over by Sarasota right to the airport.
Okay.
And I drove down, and I remember being scared and not knowing what to do and wanting to just undo what I did, and I couldn't undo what I did. So I pulled into the lot. I think initially my thoughts were other, but I didn't.
Why not?
Because she was dead.
During that drive, was she making any noises, talking to you? So tell me about this place where you dropped her off.
It was a lot that was it was on University Parkway, right where the I think where the UTC Town Center, the mall sits now. I think it was in that area, University and University. I'm trying to picture
How'd you pick that area?
I just drove, and it was dark, and it was woodsy, and I didn't pick it necessarily. I didn't have a predestination.
Okay.
You know, it was just it was an area that I found myself in, and
So you find yourself there.
yeah, I know. I see myself driving down the road, and I know that I can't drive around with her in the car, and you know, this is, you know, it's so crazy to hear myself say this. You know, person, you know, it's like,
How long did you think you drove around?
I don't know, it wasn't very long. It was maybe 5 minutes. And I never thought I would do anything like that in my life.
Let's get to the ditch where you put her in the ditch. Tell me what happened when you put her in the ditch.
I was just trying to hide what I did. I'm kind of just freaking out, you know, like, oh shit, you know, what have I done? You know, what do I do? You know, get rid of it, you know. Just being really honest with you, you know what I mean?
When Nicole's body was found, the autopsy confirmed she had been strangled and showed signs of being attacked, and also had her clothes scattered everywhere around her. At the time, police deliberately withheld the cause of death from the public, which means Ben's claims of strangulation checks out. And his story now fills out what happened between the time he met her all the way up until he attacked Nicole. He had picked Nicole up off of North Tamiami Trail, driven to a dark parking lot, and attacked her without warning while they sat in his car. He then drove her to a remote stretch of University Parkway. There, he started to remove her clothing with the intent to have intercourse, before, in his words, he realized what he was doing and stopped. He then threw her in a ditch and then returned back to his normal routine like nothing had ever happened.
You used a belt to hold her up. What'd you put the belt?
Huh?
How'd you hold her up with the belt?
I think it was a tie or a belt, I'm not sure. And I tied it around her neck and put her in the seat, tied it. I don't even know why I did that.
Did you leave anything behind in that ditch?
No. Except for her.
Did Nicole have anything on her? Any weapons on her? Anything to protect herself with?
I don't know.
She didn't try to protect herself at all?
No. No, she didn't.
Did she even get a chance? She didn't even get a chance. So if you jump her, where do you go out there?
I left and I went to my mom's house and I went to bed.
Do you remember what she was wearing that night?
I honestly don't remember.
Long time ago.
And it was very,
What vehicle were you driving back then?
it was a red 2003 Hyundai Elantra.
I gotta take you back here. Did you normally pick something you did regularly, or just that's the
Not
first one?
regularly. I mean, I did. It's not something that I had started. I had started doing it. And I'd say for about this was for about 2 or 3 months maybe. I was kind of I was something I was going through in my mind, something that I wanted to do. And I had picked up a few other girls, but in fact, I was charged with in Sarasota for picking up. I spent well, after the charges were dropped, but
This after or before?
this was after. Yeah, I was in jail, and I spent some time in jail for something else, and it was the charge that I had on that girl. I mean, what she said was true, but she talked to somebody in jail, and she told them that she tried to cut me with a razor blade, and so the charges got dropped.
In Sarasota case?
Yeah, and
That's the same thing you should.
I did. I did. Yes, I did.
Does this happen anymore?
There was one other girl that it was in Tampa, and I did not. I just kicked her out of the car. That was it. I mean, that's a lot, but I mean, that's.
Keep in mind that Nicole wasn't his only victim. There was another who fortunately survived. In the first week of December 2011, just days before he killed Nicole, Ben had picked up a 9-month pregnant exotic worker off the same stretch of North Tamiami Trail. He drove her to a secluded parking lot, and during a negotiation for her services, he suddenly began attacking her until she lost consciousness. When she came to, she was lying nearly naked on the ground, having been assaulted. In February 2012, she identified Ben from a photo lineup, after which he was charged with attempted murder, sexual battery, and aggravated battery of a pregnant woman. And you know what unbelievably happened? Every single charge was dropped against Ben, with the reason never being publicly explained. Even after Nicole's murder, his crimes continued. On Christmas Day 2011, he was arrested for a DUI after swerving into a center divider. In January 2012, a woman on South Lockwood Ridge Road woke up at 3:20 in the morning to find Ben standing beside her bed. He had broken into her home and taken a knife from her kitchen drawer. When she confronted him, he told her, "I'm going to be sick," shoved her, and fled. He was found hiding near another home 90 minutes later. Imagine that these are the only known incidents. Behind closed doors, how many other poor victims does he have? No one knows.
Do you remember detectives talking to you back then, around this time?
Around this time?
Around the time of this?
Was this?
2011.
Oh,
Did any detectives ever approach you with this case?
yes. There was a detective that came to my mom's house where I was staying, and asked me, they showed me a picture, and I denied knowing her or anything about it.
I know you said you were driving a red car. I'm sure you don't have that car anymore, correct?
No, it was picked up, and I do not have it anymore. It was picked up by the Sarasota County. They searched it, and when I got it back after I got out of jail, the passenger seat was gone. So, I don't have it. I gave it to a girlfriend who I think sold it.
You left her in the ditch. Do you remember how you left her dressed?
She was, I think I took her clothes off of her, or some halfway off, not all the way, and that's how I left her dressed.
Why'd you take her clothes off?
Because I was gonna.
At that time, you decided not to.
Right.
I know you feeling like, whoa, piece of shit.
Took a whole lot for you to come in here and talk about that.
It's the truth, though, and I appreciate that. I don't deserve.
Let me say something to you. We got mountaintops, we have valleys. Okay? Everybody has a mountaintop, and everybody eventually gonna go into the valley. Everybody. Ain't nobody exempt from a valley experience. Nobody. So it's my thing now. If you're in the valley and I'm on the mountaintop, I gotta come off the mountaintop and go to the valley with you. That's what you're supposed to do. I'm gonna come down and be with you in your valley experience. Because everybody ain't gonna stay on the mountaintop. Nobody is gonna ever stay on the mountaintop, always. Never, ever. So I don't feel no better than you. I don't feel none of that. My thing now is to come down here, meet you where you at. You're in the valley. Let's go do the valley together.
That's it. I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of having to have done this to another human, and I try to put it away, but it never really fit. It never really worked, and I don't know. I know it's not going to be, you know, I don't know what to expect, honestly. I can't be anything good, you know, but I mean, what can you expect when you do something like that? Like, even if you don't want to do it, or even if you don't, it doesn't matter. If you do it, you do it. You know, you got to deal with it.
You left the house that night. You knew Did you know you were going to kill her?
No, I didn't.
What was your goal? What was your plan that night?
It wasn't solid. I wasn't 100% sure.
When you say that, elaborate. Tell me what you mean by that.
I knew that how I was feeling at the time was.
How was that?
I was taking the steroids. I was feeling rage. I was feeling hormones. You know, and I was out of control.
How long you been taking steroids?
Oh, I took them for a short period of time. Like I don't even know how long it was. I think maybe 6 months.
6 months.
In this rage, when this happened, did you try to kill her? You know, do you remember this rage? Were you trying to kill her?
I honestly don't. I don't know what I was expected to do. You know, like I don't know what my expectation was. You know what I mean? Like I know that I was raged up. I was riled. I was mad. I was a lot of things.
Think you took it out on her?
No, I did.
So I know you said you snapped, right? So
One of the most heartbreaking aspects behind what happened to Nicole is the fact that there was no reason at all for what happened. Ben's only possible motive is that it just happened, in a steroid-induced rage. Steroids that he had gotten from a shady doctor off Honor Avenue who sold them out of a small office wedged between residential homes. It's a convenient excuse. Steroids don't make you strangle a stranger in a parking lot. They don't make you drive her to a ditch and start undressing her. And they certainly don't make you go home and climb into bed like nothing happened for 10 whole years. And if you hate monsters like Ben that try to lie their way out of crimes as much as we do, subscribe. It goes a long way.
You, okay? Were you talking to her? Y'all were talking?
Yeah, she was next to me in the car. I was talking to her, and then she had no idea. I mean, like they say, you never know who you're gonna pick up. It's like exactly, or like you shouldn't get in the car with just anybody because you never know who you're gonna, right? Like you should never do that because I was a maniac. So, I guess I am a maniac. I don't know. I was a maniac. I am a maniac. A lot of things have changed between now and then, right? In my life personally. But I mean, I could never do that now, but
What we're trying to get, did you
So if I'm you,
did you grab her, fight with her, argue with her?
it was a surprise. She did, yeah.
So you're talking, all of a sudden,
Yeah.
like this?
Yeah.
Both hands?
And what was she doing? She trying to get...
She was trying to get away. She was hitting me and started to tell me to stop, but I was squeezing her so tight. It happened. And time went by and I just felt her go limp or stop biting.
So this is inside the car. She's in the passenger, you're in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
No blows were thrown, no punches.
Right.
There's one more thing worth noting. Nicole was found with visible blunt force trauma, injuries consistent with a severe attack. Ben told detectives he only strangled her and nothing else. The autopsy says otherwise, considering the extent of her injuries. Whether he is lying about what he did, or whether he's just that insane, detectives don't know. But there's someone who knows him better than anyone in that room. A week after his confession, his half-sister Melissa sat down with investigators, telling detectives everything she knew about Ben and Nicole's murder.
So I'm watching television in December and I see that there's a body on Lorraine Road. Woman, a biker found her. And I remember looking over at my husband and I said, I think my brother Ben did that. But we had no proof.
And she had reason to think that. because months earlier her other brother Tim had called her at 2 a.m. from a motel on North Tamayami Trail, the same strip where Nicole worked, panicking about what Benjamin was about to do.
About 2 months after that, this is interesting, I got a phone call from Tim. And Tim and Ben were together at a motel on US 41. It was about 2 a.m. and the phone call went like, hey, they called me Lisa. I want you to come get me. And I said, where are you? He goes, I'm in some motel on North Trail. And I said, yeah, I'm not coming to get you. Like, you talk, why am I coming to get you? And he's like, well, I want you to come get me because I think Ben's going to kill this hooker. And I said, what? I said, you need to call cops. I am not a cop. I can't help you. I have 2 children here. I have a husband. My children were like 10 and 11 at the time. I'm not coming to get you. Like, you need to call mom. You need to call the police. You need to call
whoever you need to call.
Someone other than me.
Okay.
And he said, well, Ben's done an 8-ball all by himself. And I think he's going to kill her. And I said, I don't want to hear this. I really don't. And I said, I can't even call the cops because I don't know where you are. So you can't even tell me where you are. You need to call the police yourself.
Tim never called the police. Even when Ben was arrested for attacking the pregnant woman, he made a chilling supervised phone call to his 14-year-old son that Melissa recalls.
So let me get this clear. This phone call, it's a control call that he's having with you
Jeremy.
and his son, and he's saying on these phone calls.
Just to come out, I did it for girls. I did it because that's the only way I can only get it up. I know this is crude. I can only get it up if that's what he said to me on the phone. And I said, oh my God. Yes. I don't think he's confessing because he has empathy for the person he hurt.
Why do you think he confessed? What think drove him here to do what he did?
To come and tell you?
Yes.
From what I gathered from family who still occasionally talk to me, is that over the last 3 or 4 years he's become increasingly paranoid. He's installed exterior facing cameras all over Sunnyland, and that he would just sit in the room and watch these live feed cameras like he thought someone was coming for him. And so one of my sister-in-laws said, do you think he's getting paranoid schizophrenic? I said, no, I think he's scared because he did some crazy shit. But I think he's a psychopath. I don't think he has real remorse. I think he might be afraid. That might have motivated it. Or this Jehovah's Witness that maybe he told somebody in his group and they said you have to tell or will tell. But I don't think he has empathy or compassion for the person he did it to. Because I don't think that's something you develop over 10 years.
So while Benjamin blames steroids and credits Jehovah, his own family says he told them attacking women was the only way he could get off, and that his confession had nothing to do with God. It had to do with fear. But why did that fear take him over 10 years later? Why come to confess his crimes only now? This is the very question that detectives want him to answer.
It is. It was hard to come here. It was very difficult. But I knew that it was. Just thought about it and I said to myself, I have a son. He's 23, and if something like that happened to him, and if things were reversed, I would be devastated, not ever knowing, and I'm very ashamed to even talk about it. It sounds so unreal and surreal, to actually talk about it. But it's the truth. I did this, and
I'm gonna say this. For you to come in here and do what you did. You have a conscience and you have a soul. It takes a lot for somebody to come in and admit something is wrong. And I can tell it's been eating into you. It's like the weight of the world is like sitting on your shoulders right now.
well, it's a pretty bad thing I did, you know, and I tried to put it behind me. I tried to put it way down, forget about it, move on, and I always knew in the back of my mind that it was something that had to be made right. I just didn't know. You know, one of the things that I came to learn, I came to learn about. I was in jail, and I came to learn about Jehovah.
Okay.
And I became a Jehovah's Witness.
Okay.
They don't know anything about this. I kept this to myself. Even though I'm sorry, and I know that Jehovah forgives. Jehovah forgives. It doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it. It doesn't make it right.
So it says he's just and able to forgive, right?
Huh?
He's just and able to forgive.
Yes. Yeah. But it doesn't make it
Right.
It doesn't make it right. I'm scared to death. Honestly, it'll probably hit me a few days from now. I don't know. You know what I mean? Just trying to be real. You know, this is something that needs to be made right, and I want to make it right. Just to let me give you all the information. I'm not going to lawyer up. I'm not going to play games. Okay.
That's why I said it takes a lot of courage to come do what you did.
Well, one thing I desire Jehovah's approval. I desire a clean conscience, and I don't have one, you know, because this haunts me, and I need to get it behind me. So I know life for a life. What's, you know, I couldn't imagine if somebody had done this to my daughter. Personally, I would want to have my hands on them. I mean, I don't have a daughter, but I'd kill them, you know, if they touched my daughter and did what I did. So
Have you been praying about this?
Huh?
Have you been praying about this?
Yeah, I've prayed about it before, and it's something that I prayed about it today. I prayed about it yesterday. I prayed about it, and the only thing I can come up, I can't resolve it in my head to anything other than just to make it right, and then move. Whatever happens. I can't. It's not a, you know, I already know that I forfeited my right to be in society after I did that. It's just a matter of it is not right. Just because it's unresolved doesn't make it right. I can't be a hypocrite. I was trying to be. I didn't know I was trying to be, but I was.
Even if it was faith that brought him through those doors, this decade-old mystery was finally solved. Nicole's family received a long overdue answer. Her cousin Michael told reporters, "It does bring closure, that at least now somebody will pay for killing Nikki, but it does not fill the void Nikki left in this world."
Who have you told about this?
Nobody.
How about, does anybody know you're down here today?
Nobody knows why I'm here. I called an Uber. I was at my mom's house. I called an Uber and I had them bring me here. I told my son and my mother that there's something that I had to take care of that was part of my past, and I don't know if they fully grasp what I'm talking about or not. They know I've been in trouble. They've seen, you know, but I don't think they understand why I'm here.
Did you tell them?
No.
Then they're not going to understand.
No, this isn't something that I didn't want to put this on anybody else, like it wasn't not appropriate to do.
But you know they're gonna have questions.
Yeah, but that's not, this isn't something that I would want to share with my son or my mother. They asked me, what's going on, what's going on. I told my son that he'll figure it out. That's what I told him. I mean, what do you say? What do you tell your son? Like, what do you?
You just not you want to say the magical words. There's no magical words.
I know. So
you just tell the truth.
That's what I told him. I said I hugged him and I said I love you. I'm sorry. And he kept wanting to know. And but I haven't shared it with anybody except for you guys.
And nobody's looking at you like you some monster, okay? Not looking at you like that. So,
Well, I was for sure. I looking at myself. I know, like, but
we've we've all done bad things in life. Everybody. There's nobody immune from doing anything wrong. Okay? Because I think what happens is we focus on what we did, not knowing that everybody's done something. There's nobody's perfect. That's what I'm trying to get you to see. We all make mistakes. My mom always, there's a favorite saying she had. We can make our choices, but we can't choose our consequences. It kind of makes sense.
Yep.
And I fully grasp that now.
This makes sense.
Yeah. I did this, but I won't be able to choose what will happen to you.
Right.
Even though I did this,
Yeah.
we don't necessarily get to choose what's going to happen to us.
Right.
So when I that was a life lesson back then, and it still sticks today.
Yeah.
But nobody's saying that we've all fallen short in life. Everybody has. But it takes a big man, a strong one, to do what you did today. It does. It takes somebody that's willing to bring some closure for her family, her friends, her children, her child. Yes.
Yeah. It's the right thing. So I know it's the right thing to do, and I know I've been a suspect. I know that, at least I feel like I have been a suspect. I don't know for sure if I have been. I feel guilty, because I am.
Benjamin may have been able to tell the truth to these detectives, but he hadn't told a word of it to his mother and his 23-year-old son, who still had no idea why he'd left the house that afternoon, which is why officers gave him a phone to tell them himself.
I just calling and let you know what's going on. Okay. I don't know how many minutes I have. Well, I came in. I told you that there's something I had to take care of, and I came in and confessed to an old case from 2011 that was open in Manatee County, and it was somebody that was murdered, and I'm responsible for it. Her name is Nicole Rose Scott. I haven't never said anything about it. I've never talked about it. This is something it doesn't feel as good as I thought it would. Not that I'm trying to feel good, but I'm just saying it feels like I'm doing the right thing, but I want to let you know Well, not really. Not at the time. I mean, I didn't mean, like, it wasn't an accident. No, it was something that I did, and then I had regrets later after doing it. You understand? It's hard to explain. Yes. I was using steroids and drugs. Yes. I've already confessed to it. I had to do it. Right. It eat me up. Yes, I know. I understand it, and it's the right thing to do, and that's just eat me up on the inside, and I couldn't hold it in anymore. You know. I don't know. Yes, she had a child. And I'm sorry. So, what can I do other than telling the truth and take the punches as they come, right? Yeah, I'm sure that the organization's not going to be proud that, that I wasn't forthcoming with this information with my studies and stuff, but I hope they don't disfellowship me, but I have, it would be worse if I just kept the information and tried to sit on it for years and years and years. There's a reason I can't progress.
Ultimately, Benjamin was originally charged with first-degree murder. In October 2022, he pleaded guilty to second-degree murder as part of a plea deal, avoiding a mandatory life sentence in exchange for 20 years in prison, with credit for time served from the day he walked into that sheriff's office. No appeal was ever filed. Our thoughts are with Nicole's 3 children, who spent a decade growing up without their mother and without answers, and with Michael and the rest of Nicole's family. We hope you enjoyed today's video. 85% of our viewers aren't subscribed, so if this is the kind of content you come back for, just hit subscribe. It's the single biggest thing you can do to support the channel. If you want to keep watching more, check out one of the most intense cases we've ever covered right here, or catch up on our latest upload right here.